Hello grade 8s, now we're going to be doing loans, right? We're going to look how similar loans are to hire purchase, and we're going to fill in some formula here in the bottom. Now, what is a loan? A loan is a sum of money that you borrow from someone, usually a bank, so you get a loan from a bank. You will then pay smaller monthly installments, so you'll pay monthly back to the bank or whoever you borrowed it from until you have paid off your loan. The total cost of a loan is higher than the original value of the money you borrowed. Right? You're going to see why we get into this now. If you've watched the video on hire purchase, you'll see this is very similar to hire purchase. So what is the difference? The main difference between hire purchase and loan is ownership. In hire purchase, you're hiring the asset. That makes sense because it's called hire purchase. So you do not own an asset when you're using hire purchase. So for example, say you buy a television on hire purchase. The television is still owned by the store until you have paid it off. Right? In a loan, the buyer borrows the money, that's you, and pays for the asset and owns it immediately. It is owned by you. So you will borrow money. It doesn't matter what you do with the money, although the banks will ask you to give you some evidence that you're actually using it for a worthwhile purchase in your life. And then you own, if you borrow the money for a house, you own the house. The house is entirely yours. Although if the bank needs their money back and you can't pay it to them, they can take ownership of your house. So let's have a look at some examples. They're very similar to hire purchase, but often with much bigger values for bigger assets. Sam and Jane buy a house for 3.2 million rand. They put a deposit down of 1.5 million rand. They take out a loan to pay the rest, right? So the house is valued and they want to pay 3.2 million for it. They only have 1.5 million rand saved. So they're going to immediately pay that 1 million rand straight into that 3.2. But then they're going to have to take out a loan for the difference between 3.2 and 1.5. So they take out a loan to pay the rest. The bank is charging them an interest rate of 12.5% per annum, simple interest rate, to be paid over 5 years. Okay, so this is on the money that they are borrowing. So what is the total cost of their loan? So the loan is equal to the total cost of 3.2 million minus their deposit. So that's 3.2 minus 1.5 million, and that's 1.7 million rand. So this is how much money they're going to go to the bank and ask to the bank, can we borrow 1.7 million rand? And they said yes, but you have to pay it back at a 12.5 interest rate over 5 years. So what is the total cost they will have to pay back after the 5 years? We go to our identity. Our accumulated total is equal to our principal total, 1 plus our interest rate times the number of years. This is for simple interest only, right? So we're going to owe 1.7 million rand. So that's 12.5 over 100. That's our percentage, times 5 for 5 years. So A is equal to that. We've simplified 12.5 over 100 to give us 0.125. And then we've times that by 5. We've added the two together, and we solve, and we get A is equal to 2.7625 million rand. So instead of paying 1.7 million rand, we ended up paying 2.7 million rand. So that's how banks make their money. So we've got the same example. Remember, we borrowed 1.7 million, and we are ending up, after 5 years, having paid a total of that. We need to now figure out what is the monthly installments required. So remember, we must pay them back every month for 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, we're going to have to owe them all of that money. So the monthly installment is the loan's total cost divided by the total amount of months. So the loan's total cost is now that, right? Because that is how much it's going to cost at the end. Right, so make sure you don't put that 1.7 there. That is the total cost of the loan. So that's 2 million 762,500 divided by the total amount of months. Now we know there's 12 months in a year times 5 years. That's very easy. And that is 2,762,500 divided by 60. And that's 46,041 Rand and 67 cents. And this is how much money we're going to have to pay the bank every single month. So as you can see, that's a huge amount of money. Now, this is not normally how it's done. Normally you pay a house, instead of 5 years, 20 years. So you can literally divide that by 4. But then you're still going to be paying the loan off for 20 years. And usually the monthly installments decreases every month as you pay it off, because normally this is done with compound interest and not simple interest. But we're not going to get into that now. But this is a good idea to start to understand how loans work. So what I want you to know is hire purchase is hiring, loan is owning, and again we've got to use our identity that we used in simple interest. And remember, loans and hire purchase have a lot of similarities. Now we're going to go into quite a fun section on exchange rates.